This is a review of chromatic chords, how to spell, analyze, and hear them. Let's talk about instances of modal mixture. In the major mode, melodic mixture includes minor 4, 2 diminished 6, and 2 half diminished 6, 5. Harmonic mixture includes flat 6, flat 3, and flat 7, which usually is followed by flat 3, which makes it analyzed as 5 for flat 3. Let's listen to all of these. There's our one chord. So here will be 1, flat 6, okay, minor 4, 2 diminished 6, 2 half diminished 6, 5, and then 5 to 1. Here would be 1, flat 7, which is functioning as 5 of flat 3, flat 3, 2 diminished 6, mixture, H264, 5, 8-7, 1. Modal mixture in the minor mode, the second bullet point here, we will ignore this except with the Neapolitan or flat 2-6. So we derive the Ra, which is the solfege syllable, which is what you get from lowering Re, and it's derived from the Phrygian mode. So instead of doing 1, 2 diminished 6, 5, 1, you would get one chord, flat 2-6, and then 5, 1. How do we spell chords that are modally mixed? There are different approaches you can use. One approach is a key signature approach. You can add 3 flats, okay, to the key signature. You can spell the chord within the parallel minor. So let's practice this on 2 examples. So we're in the key of E major, and we want to spell the chord minor 4. Now let's first spell diatonic 4. So E, F sharp, G sharp, A. So diatonic 4 would be A, C sharp, E. Okay, now let's add 3 flats or subtract 3 sharps from the E major key signature. And then we get A, C natural, E. Okay. Now, again, within the same key of E major, now let's spell flat 6. Okay, so E, D sharp, C sharp. So normally we would have a C sharp minor for our 6th triad, but now we're going to think about the key signature of E minor, which is only 1 sharp, F sharp. So then we need to lower the C sharp to C, and then lower the G sharp to G natural. Let's also take the chord quality approach and see if that works. If you have harmonic mixture, which means that the root gets altered, you can lower the root a half step. Otherwise, you're going to change the chord quality. Let's try this approach on for size. So let's say we are in F major, FAC. We want a 2 diminished 6 chord. Normally the 2 is minor, so it would be G, B flat, D. Okay, so it appears with the 2 chord that this is melodic mixture, not harmonic mixture. So that means we're going to need to change this chord quality to become diminished. So how do we change a G minor chord? Flatten the 5th. So we need G, B flat, D flat. The D flat needs to be an accidental, and then invert it, B flat, D flat, G. Second, let's do flat 3 in F major. Notice now that the flat is harmonic mixture because it appears as an accidental before the Roman numeral. In the key of F major, a diatonic 3 chord would be ACE. It would be a minor triad. Okay, but this is going to be altered to become, let's see, so A, We need to lower that root a half step to A flat. So now we need a major triad. What's A flat major? A flat, C, E flat. And both A flat and E flat need to be indicated as accidentals within F. So what you need to do is decide which approach works better for you. Is it the key signature approach? Is it the chord quality approach? Or both of them? And then once you make that decision, stick with the approach that works for you. With the Neapolitan, you can try going up a half step up from the tonic. So let's say we're in C major. Okay. What's up a minor second from C? D flat, then spell a major triad. D flat, F, A flat. But you could also get the Neapolitan from C minor by starting off with a 2 chord, D, F, A flat, and then lower the D, the root, a single half step to D flat. So, as with so many things in music theory, there are different approaches, different ways to approach a solution. So you need to figure out what works for you. Let's start doing some singing practice of modally mixed progressions. Progressions using mixture have the same Roman numeral tendencies as unmixed progressions. You would part write heart and soul, so which is 1, 6, 4, 5, 1, but in classical theory we try to avoid parallel fifths and octaves. So the way we part write that is basically the same as with when it's modally mixed. But what happens when it's modally mixed is that the notes may, lay, and te are altered. They're lowered to become may, lay, and te. So if you listen 1, flat 6, minor 4, 5, 1. 4 to 5 in both cases move by contrary motion with the bass. When root motion is down by third, 1, 6, 4. We always preserve 2 common tones between each pair of adjacent chords. Look at the second bullet point, please. Once mixture occurs, it typically keeps going until the cadence. So when we get to a 5 chord, it remains major. In the heart and soul example that we showed that was modally mixed, the flat 6, once that started the mixture kept on going to minor 4, but then it dissipated by the time we got to the 5, which was a major. Third bullet point, 5 of flat 3 is quite common. Think of te in the major mode as a sign of an impending flat 3. So if we are in C major, and then because C and B flat are a major second apart for roots, you have to use contrary motion with the bass. Now we're on 5 of flat 3. We need to go to flat 3, keep mixture going until we reach the 5 chord, which needs to be major, then cadence back into major 1. Look at the fourth bullet point, please. The inversions in the following exercises lead to a wider singing range than you may be used to. Very often, classes are asked to sing certain chords, often predominants like 4 or altered predominants like 5 of 5, lower in their range to make the progression easier to sing. Whether doing these octave adjustments makes sense or not often depends on the key and on your own vocal range. You don't want to go outside of your range and then not be able to tune your progressions properly. I will demonstrate a couple of mixture singing patterns. So we have a number of warm-ups we do, and then these are not in the proper progressions, but what they do is they alternate a 1 chord with different modally mixed chords. So for instance, you would start off by sustaining these chords in some key that works vocally for you on the piano, and then we're going to arpeggiate each chord Roman numeral using solfege up and down, and then take a breath before going on to the next chord. So here is 1 flat 6 1. Do, mi, so, mi, do. lay, do, me, do, lay, do, mi, so, mi, do. And this model for a mixture singing pattern for a warm-up can be, the same approach can be applied to the other ones given in your first bulleted point. Okay. Next, you should move on to slightly more complex patterns. Here is the minor heart and soul given in the second bullet point. Do, mi, so, mi, do, lay, do, me, do, lay, fa, lay, do, lay, fa, so, ti, re, ti, so, do, mi, so, mi, do. Notice how some of these chords got sung higher in my own range. Let's say the minor 4 one, that worked better this particular time doing it in an upper range versus the 5 chord, which I wanted to do in a lower range. It adjusts the octave of these different chords depending on what fits into your voice on that given day. Next, how do we listen to and identify modal mixture? If you're in major mode, which is the common situation we're discussing here, you will listen for the 3 main lower degrees. Scale degrees, flat 3, flat 6, and flat 7. In terms of movable do, do-based minor solfege, it's me, lay, or te. So here's a regular major scale. There's me, there's lay, and te. Confirm the expected mixture chord qualities. In major, instead of a minor 6, if the root is a lay, then it probably is flat 6. Modally mixed chords should sound darker. Compare minor 6 to flat 6, since the minor mode is being borrowed from. In specific cases, minor 4 has lay, not la. So there's la going to lay. Okay. If we have flat 6, we have lay and me, not la and me. Flat 3 has me and te, not me and t. 5 of flat 3 has a te in it, while 7 diminished has t. And then flat 2-6, if we assume generally minor mode, has ra in it, not re. Ask, as always, for a slower hearing of a dictation. Sing back slowly and try to arpeggiate each chord. Okay, for our last topic, what are augmented 6 chords? These are predominants that have lay in the bass and fi in some upper voice. They resolve to 5, to 5-7, or to CAD-6-4. Lay and fi resolve to so in contrary chromatic motion. These chords do not have roots, but they are identified by intervals above the bass or by solfege. So, the Italian augmented 6 has a lay, do, and fi, or the intervals major 3rd and augmented 6th above the bass of lay, going to 5. The Italian doubles do, since lay and fi are both tendency tones and cannot be doubled. The French 6, has the notes of the Italian plus re, making an augmented 4th above the bass of lay. It too can move to 5, to 5-7, or to CAD-6-4. The German next also has the notes of the Italian, but now we add me, or scale degree flat 3, making a perfect 5th above the bass. Okay. The Italian resembles an incomplete dominant 7th chord. Okay. The German, a complete dominant 7th of flat 2, so it could, if it were respelled, could go to flat 2. And then the French is part of a whole tone scale. The German, in your last bulleted point, tends to produce parallel fifths moving to 5. So if we took away the outer voices, you would get the parallel fifths. So we usually resolve it to H264 first, and then to 5/7 or to the 5 triad. Let's briefly practice spelling augmented 6 chords. So in minor, which is the usual case, only Phi, or scale degree sharp 4, is chromatically raised. So in C minor, so we would start off with lay, do, and then Fa becomes Phi. Lay does not need to be lowered because lay is already in natural minor. Okay, so there's Italian, there's French, and there's German. Okay. In major, which is less usual, Phi is still chromatically raised, but now lay and may in the German need to be lowered. So let's start doing some practice here in your third bulleted point. We're in the key of E minor, which has 1 sharp. Okay, we're going to find scale degree 6, E, D, C. Okay, now we need solfege of lay, we need do, which is E, find Fa, which is A, raise Fa to become Phi, and now we have an A sharp. And now we need to add a ray to it. So C, E, F sharp, A sharp would be our French 6 going to perhaps 5. Now in E major, what do we need to do? Well, E major now has 4 sharps. Okay, so instead of a C sharp, we need a C natural. So now we would have C natural, E, F sharp, A sharp. So now we have 2 notes that need to be chromatically altered. Next, in the third bulleted point, let's go to the key of D minor. D minor has 1 flat. Go to down to lay. So D, C, B flat is in the scale. Okay. Next, we get do, which is D. We need may, so D, E, F. And then Fa is G, so raise that chromatically to become Phi, G sharp. And so there's our German chord, which would then go to cadential 6/4, 5 or 5/7, 1. What do we need to do differently in the case of D major? Now we need to chromatically lower the B down to B flat in the bass, and then the F sharp in the 5th of the chord needs to come down to F natural. So now we would get B flat, D, F natural, G sharp. Remember, for all of these augmented 6 chords, we're not building them above a root, we're building them above the bass note. And so each of them is a bunch of solfege, or scale degrees. Please look at the 4th bulleted point now. Augmented 6 chords closely resemble 2 half diminished 6/5, 5/4/3 of 5, and 7 fully diminished 7 in 6/5 inversion of 5. With all these cases, or most of them, only 1 note is typically changed. Compare, for instance, 5/4/3 of 5 and French augmented 6 in C minor. Only A natural and A flat differ. This close similarity between augmented 6 chords and other predominance and intensified predominance makes augmented 6 chords extremely difficult to recognize. So let's work through these 2 cases. All right, we're in C minor. We want a French augmented 6. Oh. Okay, so there is our French augmented 6 chord. We have a lay, we have do, we have a re, and we have Phi, which has to be F sharp. Okay, all I have to do to convert this into a 5/4/3 of 5 is take the A flat, have it become A natural, And now I have a D dominant 7th chord, which would be 5/7 of 5, which is G major. Now, in your last bulleted point, some people think of 5/7 of flat 2 as the same as the German chord. Okay, but the two are spelled differently and function differently. Compare in C minor. Here's C minor. Here is 5/7 of flat 2. We would spell this A flat, C, E flat, G flat, because we're in the key temporarily of D flat major, which is flat 2 of C minor. However, if we convert that to a German chord, it would be A flat, C, E flat, but then that black note on top, the G flat, needs to be gone to as an F sharp, which indicates it's going to go to H264 and then 5. We can also do some singing practice of augmented 6th chords. The principle here is to precede an augmented 6th chord by its closest diatonic equivalent. I'll demonstrate the very first one here. Okay, so we've got do, me, so, me, do, now 4/6. Lay, do, fa, do, lay. This is the diatonic one. Now convert fa to fi. Lay, do, fi, do, lay. Now 5. So, ti, re, ti, so. Back to 1. Do, me, so, me, do. It's also a good idea to compare the diatonic sources of these chords with the chromatic augmented 6th chord so that you can distinguish these when you later hear them in a dictation. How do we listen for and identify augmented 6th chords? This, unfortunately, is a very tricky skill. One thing I recommend is do slow singbacks of the bass and soprano. Lay must be in the bass, fi must be above it, or the chord must have a dominant 7th or whole tone sound. Listen for the lay to so and fi to so half step motions. If you have an augmented 6th chord, it will progress to another augmented 6th chord, or to 5, or to 5/7, or to H264. Once you have limited the chord to one of the three types, you listen for do with the Italian, do and re in the French, or do and me in the German. And as usual, ask for a slow, preferably arpeggiated hearing to confirm the chords. For instance, this would be 1. This would be a German. This would be 5/7. Hear how easy it is to pick out the notes. Here are a couple of thoughts for further improvement with listening to chromatic chords. Work on the tuning of the sung patterns. Sustain the bass note in the piano. Work on transcriptions of more advanced repertoire, and play your dictation answers back on the piano to confirm their sound and chord spellings.